Hey, let me do my final check-in of Run Me to Earth by Paul Yoon, a 2020 novel, I believe, that is it spans from 1969 in Laos all the way to 2018 in Spain, but mostly is concerned with Laos and these three teenagers who are bicycle couriers for a hospital um, in the midst of Laos getting bombed. Um, Tons and tons of ornaments by the U.S. military to try and defeat the socialist government there. The whole domino thing, which does get referenced, of the domino theory of if you disrupt, it's the domino effect of communism spreading across um, Asia, and this will, if we can stop it, it'll disrupt it. But however much that works, Laos is still, I think, at this point a socialist country, um, and it's about these three teenagers. Alsac, who does end up in, this is all spoilers, by the way, I guess I'm talking about, does end up in Spain at the end. Prani, who I left the last one, he and Vrang were going to this inn, and I was like, oh God, they're going to get caught. But actually, they went to the inn because who's running the inn but the interrogator who broke broke their hands, um, tortured them, and I guess they had it all set up. I think I mentioned they picked up money. They also picked up a knife, and they wait for the manager to come to the room. He comes to the room, they invite him in, and stab him to death. And then they head off. Uh, Frang is like he wants to go home, and Prani is going to go off. Does meet up with Auntie, this woman who isn't Noi. I thought maybe it was Noi, but isn't Noi. Is maybe another character from that original time. Um, he doesn't go across the river. Um, uh, a girl set across it instead. And that's the last we see of Prang. We only hear later that he ended up getting caught, beheaded, and they sent his head to Auntie, and is it Kit? I think it's Kit. I'm kind of confused. We get some big time jumps, and I've got no fucking clue. But they bury his head. They wash his head, and they bury it. And Auntie cried. The only time we saw him cry. And we skip ahead to 1993, where Kit, I believe the girl who did get out instead of praying, um, comes back, comes looking for Alsac, um, first in France to the where the brother of the really fucked up guy, the guy who was a child molester, um, I believe. Um, but the brother's fine, and they, it's like, yeah, he was here. He loved a woman loved him, Martha. Talk about the McKee and there being a murderer who was killing girls, and it turned out at the end that Martha's father caught the guy, and it was actually another McKee guy because, and hey, he had seen Germans. He had come across a little girl hung with a hood over her head, her shoes arranged, with a sign on her said Juden. And this McKee had started reenacting that, except he didn't care that they were Jews, just that they were little girls, and had killed them. And that was who they'd end up bringing to justice. It's funny how that little story there actually has the most impact maybe on me. because maybe it's conceivable, not conceivable, but it's that level and a little less numb. And Kit goes down to the place in Spain and comes and meets a little girl and her father at the hotel, and they take her to Alsac, and that's where we stop. And then we jump to 2018, and there's Alsac still there. Kit only visited once. Gave him that piece of paper from Prang, but he never looked at it. He's always kept it in a drawer. Whatever that piece of paper was, maybe just Prang's name. And yeah, he's kind of alone. He does have a bit of a family. He's got these people that he's known now for like the longest he's known anyone is ever in his life. He's like the uncle to this girl. And that's the story. And I don't know if I have much to say about this novel. It is a novel that is really put together, really well written, really smooth. Maybe it is too well put together that it just kind of passes through me. It doesn't, I mean, the characters are damaged. The characters are really fucked up. And I don't know if the book gets to the heart of them at all. It seems so perfectly composed that it's at odds with its material, which is kind of a horror of a war-torn country and these children who grew up in the midst of it all and are really fucked. I feel so untouched kind of offends me at the end of the day. And yeah, I don't know if I have much more to say about it at this point. I just finished listening to it, so maybe I will let it sit and see if anything bubbles up or if it just kind of evaporates as a well-written piece of work that I won't think about again. I don't know. So one of these, like, I quite willing to believe that I missed it, that I just didn't connect with it. That said, I just read Ta-Nehisi Coates' The Water Dancer, and that definitely had far more of an effect on me than this book. And that's something equally as horrific, but equally as kind of alien to my own experience. So there's that. The skipping of time out kind of gives it that kind of retrospective feel, which I don't know if it does it any favors. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it there at the moment. All right, more videos later.